What's up, beautiful people, to another episode of Conversations with Christian. Man, it's me, Ricky Jones, the Junior. We also have
O'Neal Dalva in the building.
Back again for another podcast episode.
I love it.
In which we are so happy and excited that you are here with us today. Because you can be anywhere in the world. You could be anywhere right now. However, you are spending some time with us. And with that, we would like to say thank you.
Oh, thank you. We do not take it for granted
at all. And if you are new to the podcast, you already see we down for some fun, excitement, and some good information is going to come. So go ahead and click that subscribe button if you are watching us on YouTube, or if you listen on your favorite podcast platform. Click that follow, click that subscribe, click that share. All those things that you can do to make sure other people get such a great information as you will.
I love it. Yeah, we talked a while ago about don't be selfish. Don't keep it to yourself.
Don't be selfish.
All this goody goodness, share it with somebody else. Right?
Respect.
Or maybe something is said. Maybe you're like, man, I don't like that, Ricky. But maybe share with somebody else. Be like, man, I love that, Ricky. I love what he said. Man, you hear what Ricky said?
Okay, I like what you did.
You see, I turned it.
Yeah.
I turned it. He was Ricky.
I thought you was about to use me as the bad and you as the good.
No. But yeah, no. I saw your face. He was offended.
I was waiting.
He took offense to what I said.
Almost immediately. Suddenly. But nonetheless, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, with a fun topic and conversation that I want to have and even vet through, walk through, and talk through even with you. Because actually the idea came about last week, right? Yeah. So long story short, last week, obviously on the podcast, we had some interesting video. And it was like one of those moments where I said to myself, like, do we post it or do we not? And on the back end, I was like, nah, like, we just have to go. We have to show people the good, the bad, the ugly. And more than anything, give the people the content in which we believe that God has put on our hearts to share. And so that overrided what the actual looked like, right? And then from there, I'm just string you along to the story to get you to the topic.
You got me.
Hello.
Go
That's
ahead.
the first part. Then the second part was that I was like, man, okay, these views not what they used to be, right? So I'm like, wait a minute, right? Views equals sometimes dollars, sometimes money, right? And well, that's what it does. And so with this, like, okay, the money looking a little funny this week. But then even beyond that, I had the opportunity to do an interview with somebody over the phone, and I was like, man, like, I felt equipped, I felt empowered, I felt the word where it's like you're able to do a thing, adequate. I felt those things in having the conversation. I attributed it to us doing this podcast.
That's what I was about to say.
Us having conversations, us having interviews, us flowing through difficult topics sometimes, but then easy topics as well. So just being able to, and I said to myself, self, could it be that when God tells you to do things, it's not always for you to get a monetary reward? Could it be that some of the things that God tells for you to do is for your good? For your betterment? For your empowerment? For you to be better for a thing that is to come? But He asking you to do this thing right now so that you can be ready when that thing comes? Because I'm of the belief, right? So let me just then finish this up with the thought that I'm of the belief that when God prepares you, or when God tells you to do a thing, and it's that season for you to do that thing, He's already prepared you prior to it for you to be and able to flourish in it. So therefore, it could be sometimes where God tells you to do some things just to empower you, equip you, to make you better, to make you stronger, to make you able to do that thing that's to come.
Oh, wow, that's really good. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm of the same belief that, you know, God has given us, He's created us so that we can have ideas, right? He's given us vision. He's given us the ability to do things, right? And I strongly believe that, when God gives you something, it's not necessarily solely or primarily big ticket things where, you know, big money or whatever will come with it. But I'm a strong believer that everything that God does is with purpose, right?
I like that.
We sometimes focus on the big things, but it's good for us to look at the little things too, like you said, right? Just our ability for us to come together and talk and, you know, kind of interview each other in a sense and have, you know, dialogue and whatever else. Or even you testing or, you know, or us doing the virtual meeting recently. And maybe that's something you were able to learn from, pull from, add to your conversation with this individual that you had as part of the interview, you know? So yeah, everything that, you know, we do is with purpose, you know. Everything that God gives us, does through us, you know, like, or is with purpose, in my opinion, right? One of the things that I'll mention, you know, also is with me. So a lot of you might know I teach the kids over at our church, you know, one of the youth pastors there, where right now we're talking about being thankful and appreciative of everything, right? The things that God has given you, the big things and the little things, right? And that's the thing, at times we as people, we focus on, you know, well, God, if I'm gonna do this thing that you're telling me, man, I better have 100,000 views and it better be money rolling in.
Right,
You know?
right.
And then, but then when we see like, ooh, it's only like 3, 4, or 50 or however many views, then we're kind of thinking, you know, okay, well, maybe this isn't it or whatever. But we don't know. Maybe of the 50, the person who we needed to speak directly to was one of the 50 or whatever, right? It doesn't have to be a thing where maybe also when I think about like dominoes, right? Like a domino effect, one domino hits another domino, right? It doesn't hit all of the, I don't know how many comes in a set or whatever.
Gotcha.
You know, like when they set it up, it looks all amazing and stuff, you know?
Right.
The one doesn't knock all of them down.
Right.
The one hits the next to it, then which hits the one next to it, and so on and so forth.
To the end.
And so on. So yeah, maybe
I love that.
It could be one person you reach, and maybe that's enough.
Boom. And I even love what you were saying back to the teaching of the kids with the idea that you have to establish your win, right? When God tells you to do something, establish what winning would look like with the word that God has shared. Oftentimes we think money because we want and need money to live in this world. However, the win could be I actually did what God said to do. Right? That could be a win. Or the win could be I actually was able to figure it out. It may be that even like myself reaching out to you, the win could be we actually sat down and did a podcast episode together. That's a win. And each and every time we do one beyond, the first one is sugar on top. Icing on the cake. Just above and beyond, right? Like, gauge the win. Don't always look at the money side of things, which I'm also sharing to myself. Don't just look at the money side as the success side. Like, no, there is successful parts in between the journey that God has shared with you to do. So that was like one of the things that came to mind because, you know, you can get so easily pulled by what the world or what society says or points as success, or what society says as, okay, you're actually doing something of value. Or if you do this and you get that many views or whatever, you're actually doing what God has told you to do. Where technically, no, if you actually do what God has told you to do, you actually did what God told you to do. The extra stuff is the added pressure that people walk on and with and carry and things like that will either stop them from doing what God told them to do or create barriers for them to do what God has told them to do, right? And so we have to be obedient to the word and not add anything else, I think. And that's where we can have that peaceful journey from hearing and doing.
No, I love it. As you're talking, one of the things I was thinking, you know, it's not directly connected. Usually what I'm about to say is used whenever, you know, people are sowing seeds, you know, give and it'll be given unto you, you know, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running it over, and so on. Sometimes, right, when we think about the things that God is telling us to do, right, for that particular one, someone might think give and it'll be given unto me. Like, oh, the same way that I give, I'm going to get that money back. Or it's going to come back to me in the form of a monetary money that's going to come back to me. I'm going to give $100, I'm going to get $1,000. I'm going to give $1, I'm going to get whatever, right? We're thinking about just monetary component, but no, you'll get that in return. Might be in another form, right? Might be as big as what you were thinking. It might be smaller to you, but not small in God's eyes, right? Because, you know, you are doing the thing. All we could do is what he tells us to do, right?
Boom.
That's your only job, right?
Correct.
You do the thing that he told you to do. The end result or what happens next, that's not on you to decide, or you know what I mean? Like that's not on you at all. Like, okay, God, you told me to start a YouTube channel, or you told me to write a book, you told me to get married, you told me to, you know, whatever, have desires and goals. Like I have those things, Now, God, it's on you. You know, like I didn't. You know, I don't want to say like for you to challenge God, like God, I did my part. Where you at, God? I did my part. But you did your part, right? So in a sense, you know, like we have this channel, we have this platform to communicate with people,
right?
Like I said, maybe we just reach one person, might be one view, period. But then that one view, you might, you know, be the thing where you hear it impacts or reaches someone where like, bro, like the thing that you said about, you know, couples coming together and it being the year of couples and growing this and that right there, I was able to take that word or that, you know, whatever it is that you said, that conversation, and it allowed me to think differently how I approach my wife about our goals as a family. And because of you and because of the word that God has given you, we're able to take, you know, something completely just, you know, we're able to take, you know, and pay off this $10,000 debt and then we're able to then learn how to actually save. And now we've saved $100,000, right? Totally making this up. But maybe it was just that one person you needed to reach, right? Where it's not always monetary gain that, you know, we should be focused on. Because, you know, if you want to think about give and it be given unto you, right? We're giving your time, your effort, you're giving your, you know what I mean? Like we're giving these to those who are watching and listening right now, and it'll be given unto us, right? Might not be monetary, but it'll be given unto us in other ways, right? So,
no, I mean, that's so very true. And I think to that point is we have to get beyond the me mindset of if I do this for God, what is he going to do for me?
What's in it for me?
Right? When actually in totality, when we should live life for the benefit of others, right? As believers, we not only do what we do as unto God and obedient to God, but even as the word says, right? We should love others as we love ourselves. So your work is you loving yourself, doing right by yourself, making sure you're presenting who you are with the fullness of that so that when you come in contact with others, they're able to receive joy, love, peace, and the fruits of the Spirit, right? But then that even contributes to the various things that God would have you to do. There may be some times where God gives you a business idea that will make money. We're not saying that everything that God tells you to do isn't for money, but we also are saying that everything that God tells you to do may not be for money. There may be some things that are for your betterment, your good, to sharpen who you are, to give you confidence in the things that are to come, because you may not see the vastness of the things to come, but if you focus on, as the word says, right? If we're going to call some scripture, you know what I'm saying? You did it. He that is...
I love bringing
what I'm saying, because you did it. Now you just open the can. Now I got to bring it every
Ricky's like tit for tat.
Had to. You know what I'm saying? I can't let the pastor outdo me. I'm the youth pastor at my church. But with it, the Bible lets us know that if we're
go ahead, bro. I love it.
If we're mindful, and if we are diligent to that which is least, we'll be the same with that which is much, right? And so with that, let's just be mindful over the word, right? It's the word that's the little. And really it's not. But it may seem like the little. Because greater could be on the other end of you doing this, right? We're doing this now, right? Greater could be for both of us, or together or separately, to be on a television, TV show, or radio broadcast. The list goes on. However, we're now forging the fortitude, as well as the diligence, as well as the tenacity, as well as the stick-to-itness to pump out these videos each and every week. That later come down, they may say, okay, I need you to shoot 5 episodes in one day. We'll look at it and be like, cool. We did that before.
It's doable.
We did that before. No problem. Just show me the 5 outfits. And give me the 5 subjects, the 5 cue cards. Let's run it.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Because we've done it, right? And I love God for that. Because even to the beginning point, God would not put you in a season or area in life that he hasn't prepared you for. And so each and every step along the way is preparation, right? It may be monetary payoff as he prepares you, or it may be preparation for that which is to come. But I mean, I love it too. Like, truth be told, I even love that this channel isn't making like buku money. And I say that because it's keeping us hungry, keeping us closer to him. But then And not like hungry, like starving because we don't have money, but hungry like it keeps us going.
Yeah,
right?
It keeps you. Yeah, and you want to do more. Yeah,
right. And because when that day comes, people will be expecting for a lot, right? But when the expectations comes, we'll be able to meet it with experience, diligence, lessons learned, as well as awareness of even how to perform.
Yeah, bro, you hit so many points as I'm trying to think, my little brain trying to compute everything. Go ahead and keep it in. Remember what you said. Make me bring it back. So yeah,
it worked.
No, you said I remember, but you said a lot of amazing points. Going back to something you said earlier about how at times we can have a selfish mentality where, what's in it for me? All right, God, you told me to do this, but what's in it for me, right?
Yep.
But you got to think beyond that, because God might give you a word or tell you to do something. You might end up spending hours working on something that has absolutely nothing to do with you.
Oh, that's good.
It's not for you. God is using you, but that thing, the thing that you're working on, it's not for you.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
It's for whatever the reason might be, as far as, God may be using you to allow someone. Maybe there's someone who've always felt like nobody cares about me. No one loves me. No one whatever, right? But then you taking the time to do the things that God is telling you to do, there's no money involved at all. There's no monetary gain. There's no notoriety, no big, lights or whatever it might be. But you're spending time doing that, what you were seeing as a little thing, and you're like, okay, I'm spending my time doing all this and that. But then maybe again it's for someone else, 100% totally for someone else, where they can see God through you, right? The love of Jesus, the love of Christ shining through you, reaching that other person, right? So it can be free. And also another point that you hit in, and kind of thinking about the fact that, God won't put us in a situation where, he has not fully equipped us, right? So might be doing a thing where you might feel like, man, it's a total waste of time. Like, why am I even doing this, right? Or, whatever. But anyway, you're feeling like
inadequate.
I don't see the end result or the purpose right now. But then later on, when something comes up, boom, I've got that experience, right? Just like you're saying. I mean, not that we're like, well, I'm wasting my time, but shooting multiple episodes in one day. Because I will say, like, sometimes I know in the past I thought to myself, because you see like the big names or whatever, like some shows, they'll film the whole season in like a month or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they have all these episodes that air later on, whatever else,
like every day.
Yeah, and then when you think about actors or whatever, you're like, man, they must be busy like 24/7, 12 months a year, this and that. No, they might have like 3 months where they work. They're working, you know?
Yep.
And then they're off for like the remaining 9 months of the year or whatever, banking crazy money or whatever, right?
And I mean, true to that point, I went to a taping of Family Feud when it was in Atlanta, and he recorded 8 episodes that day.
I mean,
one day.
Yeah, one day. So then, with us filming multiple episodes of the podcast or whatever it might be, we can then say, if someone like, oh, I need for you to film, spend all day filming whatever, I don't know. But then you don't feel like, and also you've done like, short films and so on and so forth. We've, done some things together.
Correct.
You have that experience.
Yes.
You can then say, okay, God has given me the ability to go through whatever it is to equip me to know how to handle this situation.
Yeah.
Now we're using, our experience, the podcast, the, filming, the this and whatever. But for you, it might be something, whatever you're dealing with, right? Something completely where you might feel like you did a thing at a time where potentially in your mind, and you're like, oh man, this was a total waste. Like, why did I even do this?
Until
fast forward, right? A year from now, 2 years from now, whatever it might be, God can say, hey, remember that thing that I had you do back, a year ago? This is it. This is now. You are ready, my child, right? Put me in the game, coach.
Facts.
I'm ready.
You ready.
Yeah.
You already have the experience. You already have the diligence in doing it then, right? Whether it was in a small crowd, whether it was amongst an audience of 0, or it was an audience of 3. You may be like, man, God, like, why is it only 3 people? You told me to do it. Bro. You're supposed to be putting this exceedingly abundantly above. Right? All I could actually think on this thing. Okay, cool. That might not have been the channel or the way in which the exceedingly abundantly will take place, but that day will come. And when that day comes, you'll be equipped, empowered, anointed enough, as well as, because here's the thing. When you're in front of a large group of people, because that's what a lot of people want at the end of the day. That's what they want. They want to be famous and in front of a lot of people. That stage isn't nothing to play with. It will chew you up, eat you, and spit you out.
Bro.
Right? You have to be able enough, confident enough, aware enough, and strong enough in your faith, your confidence, and who you are,
bro,
to be able to not only stand in that spot, but to keep on standing.
You're right here in my head. Literally what I was thinking, you know, and as you were talking, I was going to say about the fact that sometimes we want something that we might not be ready for, right? I was thinking about, you know, boxing or whatever, right? Like a heavyweight fight or whatever. I don't really know boxing like that. But I'm thinking like...
You're saying all the right terms.
You know, it sounds about right, you know? So, day one, right? Think about Mike Tyson in his prime.
Okay.
Your first day of training, you're not ready to fight Mike Tyson, right?
No.
You are not ready at all.
I don't think I ever would be, but...
I mean, that's the thing. And that's the thing that people have sometimes, right? On day one, like, I'm ready for it. No, like, God has to train you and equip you and prepare you, right? Like, boxers, again, I don't know much about boxing. If you follow boxing, you can say, oh, Neil, you are completely wrong with what you're saying.
So far, you're right.
I don't think I'm wrong, though, but they train, which takes time, right?
Very true.
You know, you got to build your muscle and then, you know, muscle memory in a sense. And like, you know, to know if someone's going to swing left, then you duck right or whatever. You know, you put your arm up to block and this. Like, you have to go through the whole process to understand, to know. And then once you are ready for whatever bout, whatever, you know, level you are, you know, to fight someone, right? In a sense, you can almost think about someone being super big and muscular and swole going to fight someone really small and, you know, puny, I guess you could say. But the small person ends up defeating the big person because the small person was ready, trained, equipped versus the big. If you want to, you know, take it to the Bible, if you think about David and Goliath or whatever, right? David's small, whatever, but God was training him, equipping him. Like, you know, oh, he a shepherd? Man, you just tend to sheep, man. You don't know nothing about nothing. Bro, let me tell you about that lion that I killed.
Correct.
With my bare hands.
Correct.
Bro, let me tell you about that bear that I killed, you know? You might see me as something, but God is telling me that I'm something else. You know what I mean? So, like, but you have to train and prepare yourself so that... And that takes time, you know. So
you're right. No, and it takes the time it takes to get you to your ready space, right?
Yeah.
And so ultimately, I think what we've concluded with is that everything that God says isn't for a monetary gain.
Yeah.
There are some times and things that God will share with you to equip you.
Yeah.
Empower you and make you available for the things that are to come, because as we do know, it is God who knows the plan and the purpose and the destiny of a man, right? From the beginning to the end. It's our part to seek God daily to get tapped in with who we were created to be and what we are created to do, and the part and the mark that we are created to leave in this world and this earth. So with that being said, it's like, okay, I'm going to tap into the source, the one that knows it all. And so with that, now it's like, okay, I hear God says a thing. I'm not always trying to get $1 out of it. If there's $1 to be made, God, if that's so, speak to me in that respect. If there's not, cool. Let's learn this lesson. Let's work this thing together. And we'll come out the better together. Right? And I think that's the main thing, is whatever it is that God tells you to do, it's a relationship through that thing. And so, you know, just making sure that's intact.
I got something to say, you know, as you're talking and I'm thinking and so on. I'm going to say something, maybe a little controversial or whatever.
It is.
I love to say, you know, it might be controversial, in the end ends up not being controversial. But I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna say it's okay if God does give you an idea for a monetary gain, right? Because I will say sometimes Christians act like it's a bad thing to make money.
Wow.
Like,
but they work.
You know, like they act like, you know, oh, all you're doing is just for money or whatever. Is it not okay to make money?
Correct.
You know,
and it's not all. That's the key part.
Or, you know, sometimes they want that Christian discount. Bruh, I had to pay for this. I had to put effort into whatever, you know, like, hey, skills and everything. God has given me these abilities. Like, it costs.
Correct.
If you were to go out and buy this Gucci purse or Gucci, you know, Louis Vuitton jacket, belt, whatever, you would pay them the $1,000.
You're gonna pay it.
But now I have the same, if not better, quality product, and you want it for $25? What the price tag say?
$1,000.
The price tag theirs says $1,000. Mine says $500. And you want it for $25? You want that deep Christian discount?
Wow, deep Christian discount.
Come on, man.
My Lord.
You know, it's okay if God is speaking to you and says something, and it's okay. Don't be scared to make money, Christians, right? And don't be scared to bless your brother and sister in Christ. If whatever it is that they have the price of the product for, if it's $50, pay the man $50, right?
Yeah.
You put time and effort into the thing, right? If it's $1,000, I mean, I wouldn't buy a belt for $1,000. I don't know about you.
Gotcha.
But
not
if that's the thing that you're into, or that you'd like, that you would be willing to pay someone in the world more money for, hey, bless your brother and sister in Christ. Like, that's their business. Is what they got going on.
Especially if the quality is good.
If the quality is good,
if the quality is bad, obviously you don't.
So so I mean, but anyway, I just wanted to say that as you were talking, I was thinking like, God gave someone a vision so that they can make a thing, so then they can in the end, hey, have money to sow into the kingdom or whatever, right? Or even take care of their family. You don't know. It doesn't matter, right? It's not your job to try to follow the money. What you gonna do with my money?
Follow the trail.
Follow the trail. Wow. Man, if God tell you to bless someone, just bless someone. If it's $100, just pay the $100, right, for the thing. Anyway.
No, I like that. I love that. So even emphasizing that there is a space for kingdom business, kingdom entrepreneurship.
There's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it. So don't sleep on the fact that the money could come with the idea that's given. However, what we are saying is that's not the only reason and the only way in which God shares you to do a thing. It's not always for the money, but there are some other beneficial benefits to obeying and being obedient to what God says.
That's it.
Because some things money can't buy.
Ooh.
I mean, it's a saying.
You see what you did? I see what you did.
It's a saying.
Some things money can't buy.
Some things money can't buy. Dang. But experience and time will put you and that means elevate. You know what I'm saying? It's elevating you closer and closer and closer to that dominant force that you were created to be. So we're sent out to say, obviously you want to definitely hear what God is saying and be obedient to what that word is. So hear and do, but at the same time, don't hear and do and look around for the money to flow, right? Hear and do, and the money will come to you.
The money will come.
Hear and do, and the money will come to you in due time, right? It could be in that very thing with that very moment, or it could be in times to come because you are equipped for the big that's on the way. So, in it all with it all, again, we love you all and we appreciate you all. This was a fun conversation.
This was
good. If you have anything that you would add to it, definitely drop it in the comment section below. We are always attentive to the things in which you are saying and sharing, because we know this is two people's conversation. However, you are part of the conversation as well. Therefore, your words are just as important as our words were in our conversation. Okay, so yours are typed, ours were vocalized, but it's still the same of importance. Okay, and so with that being said, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. I mean, it's captivated in what was said. That's the first time I said it.
I mean, I'm hearing you talk. I mean, you're a poet and you didn't even know it, bro.
You just did it. It's a spirit. It's a spirit on this here side of the camera. All you gotta do is be on this side.
That's it.
And you go around at least 1 or 2 times.
You did it again.
All right, we got to go, y'all. We love y'all. Peace.